Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs and today I have this alcohol ink floral card to share with you, so let's jump right in. So I am going to cut down my cardstock. I do kind of prefer to do this when I start out, and I chose to make my 5x7 card base black, which I don't think I've ever done, but I did cut it down to be 10x7 so that I could score at the 5-inch mark, making a 5x7 base. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of Yupo cardstock, that's what this one is, and I'm going to cut it down to be about 1/8 of an inch smaller than my 5x7 base, giving me a really thin layer around it. And I'm also going to cut down a piece of white cardstock to go inside of the card base so that I can actually write in it. You could use like a jelly roll pen or whatnot, but I just chose to add a white piece of cardstock inside, and I cut that to the exact same size as the Yupo. And then I'm going to score it at the 5-inch mark on my scoreboard here, creating my 5x7 base. Now, don't ask me why I decided to do a black base. I have no idea. I have a couple of bases that are like pre-made. They came in a kit I got a while ago, and they're in interesting colors. So I think that we're going to have to figure out a way to use them. Generally, I pretty much always use a white base. I don't know why, just my preference, I guess. And I just thought that we should probably use those bases. So you should see them come up here in a few videos down the road, and we'll kind of start using them up. But I really wanted to do some alcohol ink because you guys know that I love alcohol ink. I think it's really fun, and I think it's a really interesting medium to play with. So I knew that I wanted to cover the whole panel with my alcohol inks, and I chose 3 colors of alcohol ink for this. I used, let me see where my list is. I don't even know. Okay. Oh, there. I'm like, maybe I'm looking at the wrong list. No, I'm not. Okay, I have Gumball, Laguna, and Amethyst. So you saw I kind of have a tealy color. Gumball is the pink, and then Amethyst, of course, is the purple. And there's no rhyme or reason for how I made this background. I kind of did a diagonal in my color because that's generally how I like to start, and then kind of just built out from there. I do use blending solution and an air blower, which is what you see here, but I also brought in some 99% isopropyl alcohol because the alcohol will help the movement, but the blending solution will help the colors blend together. So it kind of depends on what you want your background to look like as to which one you want to use more of. I tend to use more of the blending solution because I love my colors to blend, but if you wanted more movement and as long as you weren't using pearls, you could use the isopropyl alcohol to kind of get that same movement. You just would have less of a blend. So completely up to you as to what you're kind of trying to go for, but that's what I was after. And then because this is on Yupo paper, I actually can splatter on some little speckles with the same isopropyl alcohol and get this kind of cool speckledy background look. So I did that as well. And then we're going to move on to what I thought was going to be the focal image. And it kind of is. This card had no real direction. You know, sometimes I sit down to make something and I know what I'm going to make. I know what I want my end result to be, and I just have to get myself there. This card did not have that. This card was just kind of me playing with some goodies that I enjoy. It had no real direction to it. So I stamped down one of the floral bouquets from the Floral Trim set. That's a Tim Holtz set, on vellum in black ink. I used my Versafine Onyx black ink, and that's because I'm going to clear heat emboss it. I wanted more black in this card design because I'm using a black base, so why not lean into that darker kind of aesthetic? And that's what I'm going to do with this card. A lot of what I add will be black, just because I thought it would be kind of fun and different from what I generally lean towards. So I kind of wanted to add just a little bit of a different look to this card, and that's kind of what I was thinking. So I'm going to trim it down. This is one of the sets that I really hope Simon Says Stamp does a die set for. If you guys have noticed, Simon Says Stamp has started making die sets for some of the Tim Holtz sets that are available. And this is one of the ones I really hope that they do because I love this set. I've used both of them now a few times. I think that I've easily used these designs several times, and I am hoping that they create one of the die sets for this so that I don't have to fussy cut it. Not that I mind fussy cutting things. I actually quite enjoy fussy cutting as a general rule, but I think that this would look nicer with the die because it would just be more consistent in its cutting, but I do tend to leave a border so that I make it a little easier for myself as well. So I just fussy cut out the image, and luckily this isn't a super tedious image to cut out regardless. It's just, sometimes I like to have matching dies for sets that I really like to use, and this is one of those. So I did fussy cut it out, and then I'm going to kind of bring in a brand new die set to me, especially. Well, obviously it just came out this week. It's the Vault Boutique set that just came out in Tim Holtz's second Vault set for this year, and it's the one that has like the doily and the rose and whatnot. Well, it has this cool banner in it, so I opted to bring the banner in and have that be where my sentiment is. And I'm also going to bring in the 7 confetti butterflies that are in that set as well, and have those kind of be an interesting addition to this card. Like I said, I honestly had no idea where this card was going, but I did notice that a lot of the Tim Holtz Noteworthy stamps fit on this banner, and I thought that was really cool, and this is one that I haven't used before, so I thought this was kind of a fun way to bring in that banner and a stamp set, or a stamp specifically, that I hadn't used before, and I think that it's got a good message. I mean, there's be you, and one is you, right? So I think that sometimes we get sucked into, being what other people expect of us. And I think it's a good idea to be who you are and to be comfortable with who you are. So I thought that be authentic was a very good sentiment to add to such a different card for me. So I thought it was kind of a fitting way to use that. And then here you can see I'm just folding the banner. So the banner is like a Z fold. So hopefully you were able to see it. My hands were kind of in the way, so hopefully it wasn't too difficult to see. But all I did was fold it back on itself. And then I folded it forward. So it kind of creates a little bit of a Z. And I did intentionally have the banner kind of stick out. So the end of the banner sticks down and the top of the banner sticks up. You'll see it better when I go to actually adhere it to the card. Right now the folds aren't even really there, but that is what I was thinking when I folded it, just because I wanted that kind of interest. And then here are those 7 butterfly dies that I cut out of some black glitter cardstock, because why the heck not? We need to add something shimmery and shiny to the card, because you guys know I'm kind of like a magpie. Like, I just love shiny things, and if I can add glitter to a card, I sure as heck will, because I love it. So that is always what I'm thinking when I add shimmer and shine. And then here's where I'm just going to adhere that white piece of cardstock. This is a lighter weight cardstock. I think it's my Neenah, which is 80 pounds. I generally, it's funny, Neenah's expensive to get in Canada, and I bought this like thing of Neenah cardstock, and it's the 80-pound one, and I never use it. like never, because 80 is too lightweight for me. I don't like my card bases to sag, so I tend to use, my bases are 110-pound weight. This black cardstock I think is 100-pound. So I used the Neenah inside because I felt like it was a light enough weight that it really wouldn't take away from the thickness or add too much bulk and then not be able to close the card nicely. So, any white cardstock you own would work there. That's just kind of what I was thinking. And then I opted to bring in some black thin 3D foam squares to add to the part of the banner that's folded, or the banner part that doesn't have a fold, because excuse me, it's going to sit higher than the folded area, but I want it all to adhere. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. And I'm going to adhere it just at the base of that floral image, because of course, it cuts off and it's not long enough to fit the 5x7 card on its own. So I kind of had to come up with a way to hide that just very blatant stop in the design of the florals. So this is kind of what I came up with, and I thought that was kind of a fun way to use that banner and to have that floral image not just stop abruptly like it kind of does. And then this is something that I came up recently for these really small butterflies. So I did a card a couple weeks ago, I think, that had a whole bunch of those little butterflies. I have a different set by Simon that has a whole bunch of butterflies. I've used it tons of times, and they fell off of a card. So I came up with the idea that if I used my reverse tweezers in the center, it would give me a flat area in the center of the butterfly, so I could still have the wings propped up, which you guys know I love because it kind of gives an illusion of movement, but I would also have a flat area that would adhere to the card. So because before I would adhere the center and then I'd lift the wings, and I found that when I lift the wings, if it's not perfectly adhered, and I kind of get impatient, it would lift the butterfly off, and then the butterfly wouldn't adhere, and then I'd have to try to glue it again, and the wings still wouldn't be lifted. So this is just kind of something I was trying out because I had never done it before, and I don't know why, because it gives you a great way to glue your butterflies down. But you know, it's one of those things where you don't think about it until you're trying to fix a problem. And of course, Mist had to jump up here and try to get glue in her hair and try to get stuck to my card. So she is lurking around here a little bit. I did have to kind of make sure she didn't walk across the glue or the card, just because I don't want her to adhere to it. But she was coming to quality check my card just to make sure it looked really good. Oh, and I have something so exciting. Okay, so I won a portrait, like a gift card towards a portrait of a pet, and the artist drew Mist in charcoal, like in pencils, and it's stunning. So I have a vlog coming, and I will show it to you guys in that vlog because it's just so beautiful. And I would love to share it with you. It's a local artist here, and she's lovely. So I really want to share that work with you guys. But sadly, I won't be able to show that to you until the vlog, and that probably won't be out until next week or the week after. So watch out for it. I do have one coming. It's just one of those things where it takes me a little bit to kind of figure out what to film for it. So that is the card I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. It is kind of different, but I like it. Let me know your thoughts. It's, you know, just a bit of a different aesthetic, but I think it turned out pretty neat. So let me know what you think, and make sure that if you have not done so yet and you want to come and check out on the live, go to the community tab and vote on a time. Currently, I believe the live will be Saturday the 13th at 3 p.m. PST, but there are other times you can go and vote for. So go and check that out. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.